The United States Constitution explicitly calls for copyright and patent laws to promote the progress of science and useful arts by authors and inventors. But would getting rid of all intellectual property laws actually encourage more creativity and innovation by inventors, writers, and artists? That was the topic of a November 15th Soho Forum debate held in New York City. Stefan Kinsella, who spent 28 years as a practicing patent law attorney, argued in favor of the proposition that all patent and copyright laws should be abolished. He believes that government-created intellectual property laws empower patent and copyright trolls and powerful corporate interests, while limiting the free flow of information, thus reducing the rate of innovation and creativity. Richard Epstein, the Lawrence A. Tisch Professor of Law at NYU, says that our current system isn't perfect, but he sees copyright and patents as a natural extension of private property rights and believes that they should be defended by libertarians accordingly. The debate took place in New York City in front of a live audience and was moderated by Soho Forum director Gene Epstein.
Now, for the main event, the resolution reads, and again, you voted on it, all patent and copyright law should be abolished. Here to defend the resolution, Stefan Kinsella. Stefan, please come to the stage. Opposing the resolution, Richard Epstein. Richard, please come to the stage. If Richard could climb over a couple of bodies, he will come to the stage. And yes, okay, all right. Don't get too friendly. Stefan, sit here. You want me to sit on the far seat?
You want me to sit on the far right?
Yeah, far right, yes, absolutely. Richard Epstein is no relation to Gene Epstein, but because there are a lot of Jews named Epstein, but we now have to close the voting. Jane, please close the voting. And Stefan, you can take the podium, which I assume you'd like to do. You have 17 and a half minutes to defend the resolution. Take it away, Stefan.
17 and a half. Oh my God. You'll have 17 and a half minutes.
Thank you very much, Gene. It's a pleasure to be here, especially with Professor Epstein. I'm really grateful you agreed to discuss this with me. You're one of my intellectual teachers, and I've learned a lot from you over the years. The resolution is all patent and copyright law should be abolished. Why? I want to briefly say I'm a patent attorney. I've been doing it for about 28 years. I've been a libertarian for far longer than that, and I actually wrestled with this intellectual property issue because patent and copyright are types of intellectual property law. I wrestled with this issue all throughout college and law school and as a young attorney. And around the time I passed the patent bar, I decided that it should all be abolished. So I came to it through a lot of hard thought. And my 28 years of practicing has only deepened my feeling about this. The bottom line is these laws violate property rights. They violate freedom of speech in the press. They distort culture. They impede innovation. They literally kill people, both copyright and patent, and they impoverish the human race. There's literally nothing whatsoever good about patent and copyright law. They're complete abominations, and they harm humanity, okay? They're a mistake. That's why we should abolish them. Now, what are these laws? Okay, these are arcane laws that specialists like me learn about and Professor Epstein teaches about. Copyright protects the right of authors, like creators of artistic works, for original works of authorship, like novels, paintings, movies, for the life of the author plus 70 years, which means the term of copyright now lasts about 120, 130 years in many cases. And by the way, originally it was 14 years at the beginning of the country. Copyright law is enforced by injunctions and by legal protections like statutory damages of up to $150,000 per act of infringement. Patents are granted by the state to inventors of practical devices like machines or processes, and they last for about 17 years, and they can also be enforced with injunctions unless the government takes it back with what's called a compulsory license, which they threaten to do sometimes. Now, there are obvious objections to these laws. The first objection is that they obviously violate natural property rights because they prevent people from using their own property as they see fit. Copyright, in effect, prevents you from publishing a book or singing a song because someone can use a court force to stop you from doing it. Patents prevent you from making products, competing, or even improving on other people's products. Right? Legally speaking, in my view, these laws should be thought of as what's called a negative easement or a negative servitude, which you guys are familiar with in the form of a restrictive covenant or a homesteading association policy where your neighbors can prevent you from painting your house a certain color. So negative servitudes or easements are fine if they're consented to, but these are not consented to. The state just grants this negative easement, which is a property right. So it's a taking of property. It violates property rights. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Professor Epstein even agrees with that. It's just that he doesn't think property rights are absolute. So the idea is that generally, so why would you favor monopoly privilege grants by the state that violate property rights, protect people from competition, and censor speech? Because they think that